Welcome back to another episode of Layton Brothers Mystery Room. Thanks for tuning in. I was laughing earlier because my pointer finger that I need to use to touch the screen with is currently covered in a band-aid because I sliced it open trying to lift an opened can lid. I opened it with a can opener of condensed milk, so haven't seen that much blood coming out of my hands in a while. Good times. Anyways, we are currently just kind of talking through each point of the scene after looking at all the information, because we have no suspects in which to look at the statements of, so we are just going to start investigating individual points of the scene. Wait, what's happening? I'm sorry? Deductions? Wait, why did that lead me back in there? Oh, because we already looked at that? I don't know. Anyways, there are 4 dead bodies in the scene. Let's examine each in turn. I can't speak right now, this is terrible. As we go, I'll fill you in on the equivalent case from 4 years ago. My throat also sounds like I'm sick right now, but it's just because it's kind of late at night. I think I spent too much time lounging around and my throat kind of closed up or something. It's kind of weird. It sounds like I'm sick right now. I hope I'm not. Don't think I am. Mostly it sounds like my voice when I just wake up, though I didn't take a nap. Having been stabbed in the back, victim's suit is soaked with blood, but the cause of death is poisoning, not hemorrhage. Soporific was found in his blood. Stabbed in the back, but died from poison.
This fellow's been knocked in the back. Look!
Yes, and it seems the blade was laced with poison. I'm fairly sure this is mimicking the Barbane Street stabbing.
I've not heard of the Barbane Street stabbing before, Prof. What happened there, then?
A woman's body was found on a quiet street one night. She'd been stabbed in the back with a poisoned knife.
Just like this fellow. Wow, that's such a coincidence. It's not like it happens to anybody out in the world ever.
No, it's just, there's a bunch of coincidences lining up, but still.
Yes, and on the victim's back was a single piece of a jigsaw puzzle.
Okay, that's more specific. That's
why they're called the jigsaw puzzle killings, eh? It's not named after the movie Saw.
Precisely. In fact, that case was the first one.
The start of so many.
This is the start of something new. It feels so right to be stabbing you.
Anyway, that's all you need to know right now about that case. Let's continue with our investigations here.
Okay, so the Barbane Street stabbings. We continue with our deductions. Wait, I'm sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm continuing to investigate the bodies. This, the way that this case is structured so far is quite confusing. I am very confused. Throttled to death, dropped on the face, also soporific. Got it?
My mum always told me not to sit too close to the telly.
It's not funny. Okay, it's a little bit funny.
This is an exact reproduction of the case of Raymond Tube. Ray Tube, television, anyway.
What's that then, Prof?
It happened in a very run-down block of flats on an inner-city estate. A man was found in a room that had been completely ransacked. He'd been strangled, and after he was dead, a television set had been smashed over his head. God damn. They just add many layers, one on top of the other.
Who'd do something like that? And why?
I have no idea. The only logical explanation at the time was that it had been done in anger, but there was no evidence pointing to the culprit whatsoever at the scene of the crime. Other than a jigsaw puzzle piece on top of the television, that is.
Another one, eh?
In fact, thinking about it, that was the second of the jigsaw puzzle killings.
And they're still going on now, by the looks of things.
Anyway, that's all you need to know right now about that case. I suggest we carry on. Okay, let us carry on. Am I just coincidentally going in order? Because it was like, oh, first, second killing, and third. This is probably the third killing, I'm assuming, that it's going to line up with. Stuffed in the refrigerator after being strangled to death, and they're still soporific.
This is Farsi's body, eh?
Here, we have a copycat of the
Stiffen Abattoir. Stiffen Abattoir murder, by the look of it.
Hey? The Stiffen Abattoir murder? Oh, sounding grim already.
Yes, the abattoir doesn't exist anymore, but at the time, it was one of the largest in the area.
I don't even know what an abattoir is, but I'm assuming the game is going to give me context clues.
One morning, an employee there discovered the body of a woman in one of the refrigerators.
A freezing corpse, eh? Oh, nasty!
Actually, it wasn't a freezer, so the body wasn't frozen. But that's irrelevant.
Technically, Lucy, I'm just gonna have to stop you with that.
The victim had been strangled and then deliberately moved into the refrigerator. And a single jigsaw puzzle piece had been placed on top of her head.
It's like the killer were making it into some sort of game. Very disturbing.
That was the third of the jigsaw puzzle killings. Look at you going in order on accident. My voice is cracking. It's like I'm sick. This is very concerning. Anyway, now I've filled you in on that. Let's get back to the case at hand. Alright, zooming back out. So the final... Hello, Agone. Charred from the fire and a broken neck, also being hanged. It's a great time. Petrol set on fire.
Oh, this poor fellow's all charred.
It's a copy of the St. Florian's torching.
What's St. Florian's?
A hospital, or rather, it was. When the murder happened, it had already been decommissioned. They found a charred corpse in the disused building. The post-mortem revealed the victim had been doused in petrol and set alight while he was still alive. Oh my god. Near the charred corpse, they found a single jigsaw puzzle piece. Investigations show that the culprit almost certainly watched the victim burn to death. How would you know that, though? Are you all right, Lucy?
I just can't fathom how anyone could do something like that. Something so morbid.
No, neither can I. Are you sure about that? It seems like your alter ego is all too willing to dive into the minds of people like that. Although, there is perhaps a part of me that can. There we go, making it relevant.
Hey?
Never mind. That was the fourth of the jigsaw puzzle killings. So, now I've filled you in on that. Let's get back to our investigation here, shall we?
Aye, let's.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going back to the... Okay, so, that's all the victims' bodies examined.
I can't believe all these gruesome murders have been going on with the public knowing nothing about it.
I'm sorry to say that these four are on the mild side. There was no pattern to the killings at all, but they did become ever more brutal. These are the more mild side, you're saying? Excuse me, I don't think I want to know about the rest of them. I'm feeling sick just thinking about it.
Horrible!
In fact, the sole link between all of the cases was the jigsaw puzzle piece left at each crime scene. Can you imagine what would have happened if news of such random killings had got out?
I see. There were no common thread at all, then. Just the puzzle pieces, eh?
That's pretty crazy. I mean, so that's when you know they're really off the hinges. No other common links. Just like, I'm gonna just kill this random person, leave a fun little children's puzzle piece right by them. Oh, it's gonna be so great.
Oh, I got it! You can make any murder look like it were part of the serial killings just by leaving a puzzle piece there. So you can sort of do copycat, like there's no way to link it together, so you see?
Quite. The perfect way to disguise a totally unrelated crime.
That's why we're kept all hush-hush, eh?
And then...
I?
No, never mind. Can we start like a counter for how many times he said never mind? Just overall, he just loves doing this. Like, I've just noticed it, especially so with this particular case, but he just loves doing this. More importantly, one of the bodies here is particularly troubling.
They all seem pretty troubling to me, Prof.
She literally said exactly what I was thinking. What I mean is, although these are all copycats of previous puzzle piece killings, one victim here was murdered in a subtly different way to before. Do you know which one? Honestly, I wasn't paying super close attention. So poison knives in the back, I believe that was the same. Having been throttled, a television set was dropped on the victim's face. That one sounds a little bit different, but can I get a recall on the other cases, or is that not a thing that got added? Sorry, hold on. Let me just... There's a lot of pieces of evidence in this game. Let me just scroll. There we go. So, first killing, oh, is it like where they placed the thing? Victim stabbed in the back with a poison blade. That sounds about right. Strangled to death and then smashed. So I don't think this guy got strangled to death. I think. Throttled. Throttled is the same thing as strangled, we've learned from case 1, I believe. Oh my god, are you serious? Sorry folks, just hang on a quick second. I believe we learned that throttled is the word they use for strangling, so I think that's the same. Let's see. The body had been transferred there following death by strangulation. After. Okay, so I don't know if that was mentioned, but it could have been. And this one burned alive, but whereas the other one was burned while they were dead. Let's check. So strangled to death. So this is the only difference, I think. Yeah, they got burned after in this one and burned before in the other one. Okay.
It's a Gonny, isn't it? There's a clear difference between his murder and the St. Florian's one. In the original case, the victim was set alight while he was still alive and he burnt to death. But Agoni had his neck broken first. He were already dead when his body was torched.
Precisely. So the question is, why did the killer single out Agoni? Why was his murder different to the original? I'm telling you, that he hates him. He really, he strangled him to death. He, hung him or something, then burned him. They just really hate that guy.
Maybe the killer were worried about starting a fire. If the victim were alive, he'd be thrashing about, hey?
That's true. And all things being equal, it's not a bad theory, Lucy. But I'm not so sure. I don't know. Game, take me for a ride. I don't know where we're going. Jesus, take the wheel. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where we're going. The soporific's bothering me. Let's examine the paper cups again. I did notice that there's only 3 paper cups, I think. So I believe Agoni didn't have a paper cup. He might have had it in his office and I forgot. It's a new sesh, so I'm refreshing my memory. Don't mind me, guys. So there were only 3 here, I think. Yeah. Cups from which Sassina boil Fossey. So yeah, not Agoni. We're drinking their wine. Traces of a powerful soporific were found in every single one. A soporific. Interesting.
So the killer got them all drowsy. Wait, I said this last time, actually. I believe.
But it would appear one of the victims hadn't taken any, wouldn't it? Agoni, right? Agoni? So which one? Agoni didn't drink one. Yeah. I did point that notice that from last time.
They never found any sleeping medication in Agoni.
Yes. So why would the crime family's head man be the only one of the victims not to have had any?
Oh, the plot thickens.
I was trying to, take a stab at thinking about what happened. I thought, one of them, of the 4, perpetrated the crime and then their own life ended after that. Or, one of them perpetrated the crime and so everybody was, dead or on the verge of dying, but one of them was, almost dead, but not quite, and then he killed him or something. I'm not sure. I feel like it's a circle. I feel like one of them is the killer for each other or all of them or something, and there wasn't any other outside forces. That's my guess. It's probably completely off, but that's my guess. Because otherwise, I have no idea. I really have no idea how this could have been carried out or what happened. Okay, the missing witness. Yes. I think what we may be looking at here is...
Is what, Prof?
Think about it, Lucy. If you had to pick one of the 4 victims as being the culprit, which one would you choose?
Huh? You think one of these 4 killed all the others?
Oh, okay, so they're kind of going on this route, all right? It's just a hypothesis at this stage, Lucy, nothing more. But if you had to pick one of these 4 as the person who killed the other 3, who would it be? I guess Agoni, but I don't know. I guess Agoni? I don't know. Let's go with it, okay? Okay. So...
Well, I suppose if I had to pick one, I'd go for old Agoni.
My thoughts exactly. And why? Because he's the only one that didn't get a drink, I guess? But then what happened to himself after that? That's my question.
Agoni were the only one not to have taken the sleeping pills, so it must have been him that bumped off the other 3. Agoni's our man.
I would love to agree, but there's a big problem.
Huh?
Yes. Agoni's cause of death. I'm glad that they're pursuing this. This is exactly what I was postulating, so I'm glad that they're pursuing this. It was a broken neck that killed him. And it was only after he died that he was doused in petrol and set alight. Yeah, it has to have been one of them didn't die immediately. Maybe the guy that got the poison knife in his back or something, and I don't freaking know. Or all of them were barely alive and they all tried to go after Agoni and then they all died. No, that's too crazy. That's too crazy.
So it can't have been him then. He were murdered. He must have been.
Unless, of course, he arranged for his body somehow to be set alight automatically after his neck broke. I didn't even consider that, but I mean, why would you do that? I don't know, man. I didn't even consider that. That's so crazy. Oh, okay. Murder or suicide. So I guess I'll just go in order because the missing witness is the one I just tapped, right? Oh, just kidding. I don't know what just happened. Somebody delivered a takeaway to the warehouse just before the incident took place.
Aye, but that's somebody we can't find, isn't it?
Yes, we should revisit this once they've managed to locate the missing delivery person, perhaps.
Assuming said person hasn't been bumped off as well.
Okay, so I see. Interesting. It's quite possible that Agani drugged the other three and slew them before killing himself.
But Agani were doused in petrol and set alight after he'd broken his neck and died.
He may have engineered some way to make that happen. We should examine the scene for clues.
Do you think it's a serious possibility, Prof? Sounds a bit far-fetched to me.
So, I mean, there was the rope. Like, so he had a broken neck rather than, like, strangulation? Like, that sounds different from, like, hanging, but there was a rope they implied from hanging, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Tail end of a rope. This proves it was suicide. So, a lighter, a jerry can, largely burnt, only this short piece from one end now remains. Believed to have been used to hang the victim. So I'm a bit unclear about like his exact cause of death with the neck business going on. You know what I mean? I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm just gonna do this for now.
How about this short piece of rope, Prof? Looks a bit sus to me.
Yes, the rope. Certainly he could have used the rope to break his own neck, couldn't he? I guess so? Yeah, is that how hanging works?
How's that then?
Well, imagine, the rope used in combination with one other thing at the scene. What could that be? Well, lighter, desk, the safe? The telephone. Used a rope and what else to hang himself? So from something? From an object? Telephone is a cord. Safe is heavy. It's heavy, but how could you use that? The desk. It's like a chair, but it's a desk instead. I guess.
I got it. The desk. He fixed the rope to the ceiling while he was standing on the desk, and then jumped off.
Okay, so instead of kicking off a chair, I see. Oh god, this is horrible.
It looks like he were a portly fellow. His neck could never have taken it. He would have snapped like a twig.
Oh my. Lucy, don't sound too excited about this. There's no need for such a graphic description, Lucy. But, yes, I agree with your deduction.
Aren't you overlooking something though, Prof? If he'd done that, he'd still be dangling from the ceiling.
Indeed. So he must have used some implement to break the rope after he jumped. Can you think what that might be? What that might have been? What did Agani use to destroy the rope from which he hung himself? I guess he lit it on fire. Wait, bookshelf. I guess he lit it on fire because it's literally on fire. Like it's a burnt piece of rope. So.
Oh, I get it. He used the lighter to set fire to the rope.
And his whole body as well. Oh my, look at this. Oh my god, I smacked the pop filter because I got all terrified. Look at how scary that looks. I don't like it. Agani doused himself in petrol, set himself alight, and jumped off the desk to break his neck. Eventually, the rope would have burnt through, destroying the evidence of his elaborate suicide.
Leaving his charred body on the floor and nothing else, eh? Oh, making it look like he'd just been murdered by someone rather than doing himself in. So, well, that explains it then. Now we know how the room was locked from the inside.
Don't get too excited, Lucy. If our theory were correct, you'd expect to find some signs of scorching on the ceiling. Before we go any further, would you mind contacting forensics and asking them to see what they can find?
Hi, no props.
Yeah, the fact that they're, like, so excited about this theory makes me think that it's probably, not entirely true. There's probably going to be a lot of other elements. Oh, okay, we're getting a little bit of an interruption, asking forensics.
We got the forensics report.
And?
Well, they couldn't find any signs of scorching on the ceiling.
I see. Pity.
If Agani didn't do himself in, then he must have been done in by someone else. In which case, it makes no sense whatsoever that he hadn't had the crushed up sleeping pills.
Perhaps we're overlooking the most obvious explanation. That is, the culprit attempted to administer the soporific to Agani, but failed.
Oh, you're right, that is simple.
The culprit was then left with no choice but to resort to extreme violence to conclude the ill deed. for which he or she or they used what, Lucy? Do you know? What was the murder weapon? Wait, I'm sorry. What was used to kill Agani? Tail end of the rope, the lighter, the jerry can? Like, did he smack him over the head with how do you break one's neck? I mean, other than like smashing their face in with a safe, I'm getting kind of lost with this line of questioning now. Tail end of the rope. What did they use to kill Agani in the end? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm confused. I don't know. You're looking for the object that was used to end Agani's life, you see. That's not it.
Let's see, then,
Wait, did they smack him with a cherry can? Frick. Is it just the thing that we were just discussing? Is it what we were just discussing? The rope? I'm so confused. I don't okay, wait, so what are we following?
It was the rope, of course!
Precisely. Yes, yep, same page. I thought you were trying to go a different line of reasoning from what just happened, so I don't understand what's going on now. The perpetrator strangled Agani.
And with some considerable force, because it caused Agani's neck to be broken.
Then, as we have already deduced, he or she, or they, set the victim's dead body on fire. No doubt the intention was to eliminate the evidence by burning the rope as well.
Nice and neat. That ties things up nicely. Sorry, that weren't intentional.
Better not have been, or else I'm gonna come after you, girl. It would indeed explain the evidence before us, but we're still in the realms of conjecture, unfortunately. We lack a suspect and a credible explanation for how the culprit escaped the locked crime scene.
Oh, I forgot about that. Gosh dang it, I was so excited. Well, you know what? We're gonna have to wait until the next episode before we continue cracking on about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting so confused. So, I mean, I'm glad that we started opening up little avenues of things that I was thinking about, but like, yeah, there's still this whole grand mystery. This whole grand mystery on the line, so I don't know. I'm excited to figure out more in the next episode. See you then. This is Axis, over and out.